Today in Matt's class, I'm going to show you once again how to do an awesome monotone portrait with black and white color pencils and add in one single color for limited color. It's going to look really cool, trust me. Today in Matt's class, I'm going to show you guys once again how to take a really cool monotone drawing. You're going to add in a single color. So already this was done with black and white color pencils. We're going to add in a single color, and this is usually the process. There's no rule that you have to do the black and white color pencils first and then add in the color. I mean, technically you could along the way just add in color wherever you want. For me, just because I'm weird and OCD, I like to draw with my black color pencil first, then I like to add in my highlights, then I like to add in color. But of course, a lot of times once I add in highlights, I start to see darks that I need to put in. So I'm kind of going back and forth, and then adding in the limited color. I like to try to save that for last because it's really fun to add in these specific colors. I just think it's really neato torpedo. So I already have a video where I illustrated this portrait right here in black and white color pencils. If you haven't seen that, you need to check that out. Today I'm going to add in a single color, and for the heck of it, that single color is going to be candy apple red. Let's do this. So one of the things that I mentioned in the last demo is when you're mixing your black and white color pencils, you're not actually mixing black and white because that gets the ooh gray you want to mix into the paper. Your color, however, as long as you have kind of a medium color, you should be able to mix into the white. This green was a little bit lighter, so it mixes into the white good, doesn't mix into the black as well. Let's see what happens when we have this medium. This is called poppy red. Let's see what happens. So if we have the white of the paper kind of moving in like so, can we get waxy with our red? Push into the red and just kind of fade out. That's not too bad. Let's see, we might need to go back over it with the white again. It's a little bit better. It's tough. Red is naturally kind of a dark color. It's not as bad as, say, this yellow and that dark blue. It's mixing pretty good. Then let's try throwing in some black over here, black mixing into the red, and then we can get more waxy with it. All right, that's not too bad. So what we are going to do now, we are going to take this monotone illustration that I've done, and we are going to add in some limited color, and we're going to use this poppy red. One of the things that I'm going to do, I'm going to take a look at the reference, and is there anywhere where it is kind of red that I can add in? So there are some areas here with the blush that I can just add in just a little bit, just get a little bit of subtle color. A little bit of blush over here. Just going to add just a little bit of color to the face. And it's limited color. So when people see this, when they see limited color, it's nice because it's kind of one of those less is more kind of things where it's not perfectly photographic, but the color is just suggested. And so it's just a really nice way of adding a little bit of color. You kind of get a lot of mileage out of that. One of the things with color pencils is they don't really erase that well, but if you're drawing lightly or shading lightly, you should be able to take a kneaded eraser and kind of get some of that waxiness out. If you just hammer in a really heavy line, you're not going to be able to erase that very well, but if you're doing some soft shading, you should be able to kind of smooth things out a little bit, and that actually is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how that erased. The upper lip stays pretty dark, but I can see that there is red in there, so I'm going to go ahead and mix that in. And the value is already there. It already was a darker upper lip. And then the rest of this lip, I'm going to kind of draw around these highlights because those highlights are pretty bright. And then in general, the lip is a little bit darker towards the bottom, so I can go a little bit heavier with my red down there. And then the lip is just kind of a softer red underneath. I don't want to go too heavy on that or it'll lose some of the three-dimensionality. And there you go. That actually looks pretty good. That's a pretty juicy red lip, and I think I'm going to leave it. Less is more. I do see a little bit of red almost kind of coming through on the neck here, so it wouldn't be against the law to add a little bit there. You know what? I actually see a little bit of red reflecting into this earring here. That looks really nice.
It's similar how the Frank Miller did this.
Kind of, yeah. For Sin City, he was definitely selective with color and just kind of picking and choosing where to put it in. You're putting lights against darks, darks against lights, and I feel like we've kind of have this area of red right here because I have the earring here. I don't really want to mix red. I really like how white, like this is kind of blasting on the side of the head here. However, I feel like this gets a little lost here. So what if we add some red, not onto the head, but in the background, kind of on this side here, separating this wall? I'm anxious to see what is going to happen. Is it going to ruin it, or is it actually going to be pretty sweet? So first I'm going to go in, I'm going to outline that area already. I think right now it's a little alarming, but I think it's going to be cool. And again, if you're ever shading with a color pencil, whether it's white or black or with a specific color, if it starts looking too much like a crayon, and you're getting that crayon effect where you just have that texture where you can really see the tooth of the paper and it's kind of grainy, all you have to do is sharpen your pencil and it'll go right into those grains a lot better. One of the reasons why I like working on the tone paper with color pencils is I feel like already it looks less crayon-like because you're not drawing on white paper. When you've got white paper, when you see that tooth, that grain of the paper through it, it's so apparent on lighter paper that it just kind of, to me, it reminds me of crayons, and it just has that coloring book look to it. But the fact that we have a middle ground underneath that we're drawing on, it doesn't have that constant white popping through it, so it doesn't really feel as much like a coloring book. You can get as waxy as you want. You can really hammer in these color pencils, really get like a nice opaque color. In fact, I'm going to do that in a second here and kind of show you how that can look. But for right now, in the background, I feel like more of a texture is just kind of nice against the side. I'm going to sharpen my pencil. Because my pencil's sharper, it's really gonna kind of jam into the tooth of the paper a little bit better. A little bit more of like an opaque color. See how closer to the edge of her shoulder and her hair here, you're not even really seeing the tone of the paper. So there's one more thing that I want to do that I think will be really cool. So in this original reference here, she's got this black bikini top on that's kind of cool, kind of stylistic. I thought it would be cool if, instead of really rendering out this bikini, what if we just made it a solid flat color? And because we're using red for our single color, what if we just hammer it in straight red? I think it's gonna look cool. Let's find out. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just going in super opaque. I am jamming in this color pencil. See how nice and flat the color is? It's just super opaque. Again, that's one of the cool things about your color pencils is you can do all kinds of different tricks, and because you're drawing, it's like you have really good control. So already, like, that's really cool. It's like this really nice hard edge, and it's like stylistically, and I could have rendered this out and have light and shadow, but I just thought it would be neat as I was kind of drawing this out. What if I just kept that like a single flat color? And now I'm glad I did, because I think that looks pretty rad. A big question that students ask is, can they draw it out in graphite first? And the answer is you really don't want to do that for a number of reasons. For one, graphite is a lot harder, so if you draw things out in pencil, even if you erase the pencil, you're kind of carving into the paper, so if you shade over that, you'll see your initial lines that you drew, so you don't want to do that. The second reason why you don't want to do it is the graphite smudges. And so the problem is, unlike your color pencils where you see how I can touch the red here and it's not getting all over the paper, you can't do that with graphite, especially if you shade in like this and you rub it with, it's going to get everywhere. So the problem is when you draw something out with graphite, especially if you start shading in with white, it's going to mix into the white, it's going to be muddy, it's going to get everywhere, and it's just a mess. So my suggestion, if you can help it, do not use graphite pencils up front. So what does that mean? It means drawing lightly with your Prismacolor pencils and getting more confident as you go. If you draw lightly, you can do a little bit of erasing, and you want to get in the habit of good, confident drawing lines, not just scribbling your way around everything and then like steering it into place. Less is more. Kind of see it, maybe lightly build it, and then put in those confident lines, locking it in. Part of what makes a good sketch like this so strong is the confidence behind it. And the line work was very confident, and it's very bold. It's not very sketchy. It doesn't look like I wasn't sure. Even the fact that I'm hammering in this really bold red, it's confidence. At no point does it look like I'm not sure if I want to commit to red in this bikini top. That's a great thing in your illustration, having that confidence shine through. Rock and roll, I think that looks cool. I'm actually really happy with that. I think it looks cool. Your black and white color pencils plus one color. I hope you guys enjoyed today's class. We are going to do this again, but I'm going to do another one where I start from scratch. So if you're a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, come back for the next one. Did you enjoy class today? If so, give me a like. If there's something you'd like to see me cover in a future video, let me know what that is in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I've also got a video series called Sketchbook Challenge that helps your drawing, creativity, and fill up an awesome looking sketchbook. Plus, there are videos on You Can Draw Star Wars, Hollywood is Dead, and sneak peeks at the Aladdin 3477 motion picture trilogy. In order to not miss any new videos, hit that notification bell. Sharing is caring, and it's great to inspire your friends. Share this video on social media and your friends will share awesome art tips they find with you. If you're on Instagram, you can follow me at Matt_Busch_Instagram. I'll see you back in the classroom soon. Don't be tardy.